Hey everybody, I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming, and turn 5 for my 5 Parsecs from Home campaign is about to begin. 5 Parsecs is a sci-fi adventure solo wargame and was written by Ivan Sorensen and published by Modifius Entertainment. If you're watching these videos as they release, there will be a pause before turn 6 is released, as I'll be taking a planned break. But don't worry, 5 Parsecs from Home will be returning during my 2024 summer block of videos. Now I'll do a bit of a story recap of my last battle, tease a little bit of what's coming up for this battle, show the state of my crews, then get to the bricks and blocks of turn 5 for my 5 Parsecs from Home campaign. With the hyperdrive fully installed in tests, Beldara convinced the crew to take one final job on Galdoss 5 to take down a cult leader and his followers. With Malrond and his zealots defeated, Gibbs renegades now go to pay off their ship's repairs and upgrades, and collect some needed paperwork to secretly leave the planet from a contact of Rets. However, a team of Galactic Solution troopers have tracked the crew and have beat them to their meeting site. Gibbs renegades currently have 2 wealthy patrons, 1 unknown rival, 17 credits, 5 story points, 2 quest rumors, and before interest, they owe 14 credits before they've paid off the modifications to make tests capable of deep space travel. Captain Danik Kral has swapped out his handgun for the hand cannon they found at the end of the last battle, and also has his shotgun and auto rifle, and is equipped with his screen generator. He has 5 experience points. Beldara is carrying her rattle gun with the nano sludge modification and the machine pistol they found in the last battle. After taking down Malrond and putting an end to his cult, she has 4 experience points. Dr. O has his hand laser with the stun attachment, and since his military rifle was damaged in the last battle, he's equipped a fully functional one they received after the last battle. He's also equipped the displacer they found, which will potentially allow him to teleport around the battlefield. He only has 2 experience points after some troubles in the previous encounter. Rhett Joran is carrying the auto rifle with the tracker sight and is carrying Danik's old handgun. And after taking down the first enemy in the last battle, he has 4 experience points. Baffy is hoping to finally contribute to a battle when he gets out of the medical bay later this turn. He still has his blast pistol, a military rifle, a frag grenade, and is wearing his stealth gear. He has 3 experience points. Ugrok will also be out of the medical bay soon, and is carrying his colony rifle and brutal melee weapon, and is wearing the suit of combat armor the team purchased after turn 3. He also has 3 experience points. Charlie apparently wasn't reassembled correctly as the soldier bot fell quickly in the last battle, and he'll need some repairs that will cause him to sit out the start of this turn. He's carrying a shotgun and glare sword, and doesn't collect experience points because he's a bot. Going to the steps for the campaign turn, there's no invasion to flee, and my team isn't technically leaving yet, they're just kind of getting ready, so I will skip step 1. And then for step 2, for upkeep and ship repairs, since I have a crew of 7, I have to pay 2 credits for my upkeep, so that will bring me down to 15. And then for ship debt, I currently owe 14 credits on it, that will increase by 1 up to 15, and I'm just going to go ahead and spend all of my money to pay off my ship. So now Tess is completely owned by my crew. There's no ship repairs. I've completely repaired its hull damage already. For medical care, I could pay some credits to move along my medical care. Currently, Ugrok, Charlie, and Baffy are all in sickbay, but they will get out of there as soon as I'm done resolving my crew tasks. So I'll just leave them in there. I couldn't do anything about it anyway because I have no credits. And for assigning crew tasks for the rest of the team, I'm going to have Danik and Beldara go exploring. At the end of the last battle, they had a little heart-to-heart conversation. So I'll say they just kind of walked off somewhere to talk, and they're going to find something while they're there. And then Rhett and Dr. O are going to go trading to try to get some parts to finish repairing Charlie. So for Danik Kral's exploration roll, 31, That is an alien merchant. Give him any item, then roll on the loot table. I think that's an item that Danik has to have equipped on him, so I will give up his shotgun. A D100, 21. That is a weapon. 33. And more specifically, a slug weapon. And 23. Well, that is another machine pistol. And for Beldara's exploration roll, 10. Alright, well, that's actually useful. Gain a quest rumor. If she was a precursor, she could potentially get a second one. But, so I guess while Danik and Beldara are off chatting about some of her childhood issues, they met up with an alien that did some trading with them and learned a little more about the quest they're on. Next, I'll do Dr. O's trade roll. 86. Gently used. Roll once on the gear subsection of the loot table. This item is damaged and needs repair. And 90. That is a utility item on the gear subtable. 22. And he finds a concealed blade. Well, that's kind of an interesting item. If the character begins their round within 2 inches of an opponent, they may throw the blade as a free action before doing anything else. Roll to hit normally, so they'll get their combat modifier, then resolve the hit with damage plus 0. And the blade can be used once per battle. I guess they pick it up after they throw it. And for Rhett's trading roll, 27. So that is a luxury trinket. It's useful for recruiting. I can gain a one-time bonus if I try to recruit somebody, but I've got plenty of crewmates right now, so I don't really want to use it for that. So I can alternatively sell it. I roll twice on the trade table and select the result I prefer. If I had a swift character, they're like flying lizards, they would keep it and just simply gain 2 experience points. So I'll go ahead and roll twice on the trade table and figure out which of these results I want. My options are 99 or 44. 99 would have been useful a few turns back. Gets me some credits for repairing some hull damage on the ship, which I don't need right now. But the 44 gets me some trade goods. The next time I show up on a planet, I can roll a 1d6 to see how many credits the goods sell for. And if I end up rolling a 1 on that, they become damaged and are worthless. I will take that because I do plan to travel soon. And going down the list, since I'm not looking for patrons, we don't do job offers, I've already assigned equipment, we don't need to resolve rumors because I'm already on a quest, and so I'll try to choose my battle. First I have to see if a rival ends up appearing. I have 1 rival, so as long as I don't roll a 1, which I don't, so I'm free to take on an opportunity mission or a quest mission, and we'll go with a quest mission now that I've got 3 rumors to see if I can make some more progress on this quest. First, I'll roll to determine deployment conditions. 83. For a quest mission that is caught off guard, your squad will act in the slow actions phase in round 1. So I essentially don't get to roll my reaction dice that first round. Next, I'll roll up any notable sights. 94. For a quest, a 94 is a curious item. Roll a 1d6. On a 1 to 4, it can be sold for 1 credit. On a 5 to 6, roll on the loot table. So I guess I'll roll that after the battle if I pick it up. Next, to determine the mission objective, a 7. And I'll make sure I use the right table for this. I chose the wrong one on a previous battle, but a 7 is acquire. So for this type of battle, an item is placed right in the middle of the board, and a character has to walk up to it and make a combat action to pick it up. If that figure ends up falling in combat, the item might get destroyed. Otherwise, somebody else can come along and pick it up. And if I just drive the enemy off the table, I can pick it up at my leisure. To determine the enemy, we'll start with rolling their category. 33. And with a quest, that is some hired muscle. 31. And that's fitting. We have guild troops, so these could easily be soldiers from Galactic Solutions. They have no extra to their numbers. They panic on a 1 or 2. They only have a movement of 4 inches. They do have a combat skill of +1 and a toughness of 4, and they're tactical. And this is also fitting here. We have intrigue, so after the battle, roll 2d6, add +1 if I kill a lieutenant or a unique individual, and on a 9+, I gain an additional quest rumor. With hired muscle, they're paid professionals, so I get a -1 to my seize the initiative roll, which makes sense for this battle because earlier I rolled that I'd be caught off guard, so it makes sense that I would have a more difficult time seizing the initiative as well. For enemy numbers, we have 3. There's no additional soldiers added to this number, and with 3 enemies, they will get 1 specialist but no lieutenant. And then I will go ahead and roll up their weapons. The red will be the basic, blue will be the specialist, 4 and 1. They use column 2 for their basic soldiers. 4 is a military rifle, and their specialist uses C, and they got a 1, which is a marksman's rifle. I'll roll to see if there's a unique individual with this team. On a 9 or higher, there is, and a 10 is higher. So we have a 42. Well, I thought this would be an easy battle with only 3 enemies, but they've just added a secret agent, speed of 6, combat skill of 2, toughness 4, aggressive AI. They have 1 luck, a hand laser, and a glare sword, so they're going for some close combat. A mysterious individual packing some state-of-the-art murder elements, and they're going to target a randomly selected member of my crew. They're going to move towards them and try to attack them as their main target, and they'll always try to target that one individual regardless if someone else is closer to them. This battle takes place in an abandoned alleyway in the main port city of Galdoss 5. So to represent this, my playing area will be the 20-inch by 40-inch section in the middle, while the outside 10 inches on each side are considered to be tall buildings. So it creates kind of a bottleneck situation with a long, narrow battlefield. I figured this would be a great setup considering the opponent has a marksman rifle, and even though it's supposed to have a range of 36 inches, I'm saying he can just reach anyone he sees. The enemy are listed as tactical, which means they usually stick together, but there's only 3 normal enemies. So I'll have their specialists stay camped and cover most of the game, and the 2 regular soldiers will split up to try to flank my team, while the secret agent will try to rush down the middle and face my team head on. And he will be trying to target a specific member of my crew. From 1 to 5, we'll have Danik, Kral, Baffy, Rhett, Beldara, and then Ugrak. And that will be Baffy. In the middle of the board, we have the contact, who apparently was just shot by the enemy marksman, and the crew has to get to him and use a combat action to pull the documents off of his body, so they'll have all the paperwork they need to get off this planet. Also near the center of the board, I rolled there would be a curious item. This is placed 2d6 plus 2 inches from the middle of the board. That will be a total of 10 inches, and a random direction, which will be this way. And 10 inches from the center is kind of an unfortunate spot over here, as that'll be kind of a hard corner to get to since this is considered off the table here. Normally I'd start out the battle by rolling to seize the initiative, but my team was caught off guard, which means they have to act in the slow phase of the first round. So I'm just going to say they're not allowed to roll to seize the initiative because that just seems kind of odd. They could seize the initiative but then be caught off guard. And looking over here at my side of the board, Baffy is going to try to run up this flank, while Beldara and Ugrak will probably be headed down the middle. And over here, Danik and Rhett will attempt to go around this other flank. One thing I'll point out with my terrain is even though these buildings here have some doorways into them, I'm just going to say those are closed off. Normally to maneuver figures around in there, I would just take the top off to get to them, but I've got stuff on top of those catwalks and things, and it'll just make it really awkward to get in there. And the last thing I'll say about rules before we get started is normally tactical enemies are supposed to stay within 3 inches of a friendly figure, but since there's only 4 enemies on the battlefield, I'm just going to negate that and have them just do other tactical strategies. And then I'll skip the reaction roll and go right over to the enemy phase. Starting with this trooper here, he can move and dash a total of 6 inches around here. Their special agent can move and dash 8 inches, which will allow him to kind of curve around here by these stairs. Their marksman will just stay up here in his sniper roost. And their last trooper will dash 6 inches right up onto this platform. And with them in better tactical position, my team will now go. Starting with Baffy, he can move and dash 7 inches over here by this ladder. Then for Beldara and Ugrak here, I suppose we'll start with Ugrak. He can move 7 inches over towards this ladder. And Beldara can move 6 inches. So she'll come over here, trying to stay out of this firing lane down the middle. And then Danik, he can move 6 inches. He's going to move over here kind of next to Ugrak. And then Rhett, he can move 6 inches. He's going to kind of come around this flank here. With that uneventful round 1, I'll roll up reactions for round 2. And only one of the 3s can be given to Danik. So Danik is going to move and dash. It's about 2 inches to the ladder, 3 inches up the ladder, and then he'll go 1 more inch right up over to here, trying to stay behind this so he's not in line with any enemy gunfire. Then moving over to the enemy phase, they'll start with having their special agent. He can move and dash 8 inches to the middle here. Coming over here behind this crate for some cover. And then this regular soldier can move 2 inches to the base of the stairs. And then from there, about 3 inches up and another inch right over here against this wall to try to have some cover there. And then on the back side of the board, this trooper here can move 4 inches up, which will put him right about there. And with his military rifle, 24 inches just barely gets to Rhett, so he can take a shot at him. Rhett does have cover behind the corner of that building, but these enemies have +1 combat. Needing a 6, that is a failure. And for their marksman, I thought he couldn't see anybody, but he can just barely see Rhett right there, so we'll let him take a shot. Needing a 6, this shot is aimed. But again, that's only a total of 5, so it's a miss. Rhett would like to fire back at one of these enemies, but instead he wants to try to advance up the board. So he is going to move and dash a total of 6 inches right up here towards this corner. So he's got some cover from the basic trooper and can't be seen by the marksman. And then to Baffy, he is going to move up 5 inches right to this corner and poke his head around to where he can see down here to this special agent, and he'll fire his military rifle. That's a shot into cover, so Baffy needs a 6, which he misses. And perhaps the fact that Baffy shot at him first is why the special agent is after him. And next we'll move to Beldara, who can move 4 inches right up here. Kind of poke her head around so that she can see down to that special agent, and she's going to unload her rattle gun at him. The weapon's heavy penalty negates the +1 to hit from the nano sludge. First shot misses, second shot needing a 6 misses, and the third shot, no luck. And to finish up my turn, Ugrak doesn't really have a good strategic thing to do, so he's just going to move 7 inches on a dash right up here in front of Baffy, to give him some cover since he's got his combat armor. Rolling a battle event at the end of turn 2, 61. And that is a desperate plan. A random figure on your crew cannot act the next round, but instead select another figure, and they may act in both the quick and slow phases. This will be in order of Danik, Baffy, Rhett, Beldara, and Ugrok. And that is Beldara cannot act this turn. And that is really unfortunate because she's right out in the open where that marksman can shoot her. And she's got my rattle gun that I really wanted to use this turn. So instead we'll have Danik act in both phases. And since Beldara can't act, I don't think I get a roll a reaction die for her. So we'll do the other 4. And I've got a 2 I can use. I could give the 2 to Rhett or to Ugrok. I'll give it to Ugrok and let him fire his colony rifle down here at the special agent. Needing a 6, and that fails. And then to Danik, who can act in both phases. He's just going to step forward a little bit to right here, where he can see this trooper down there and fire 2 shots from his auto rifle. From that angle, it's actually a wide open shot, so he needs a 5, and he has a +1 to hit. First shot misses, that's not aimed. Second shot, and that unfortunately misses as well. And since my team apparently can't hit the broadside of a building, we'll go over to the enemy phase. Since this trooper over here can't really get anywhere where they can have cover against Danik, they're just going to stand where they are and aim to fire at him. He's in cover, so the trooper needs a 6. They have a +1 combat, and that misses. Next, their other regular trooper will just kind of poke their head around here, where they can see over here to Beldara and fire at her. And that's a wide open shot, so needing a 5 with a +1, and that lands. She's got a toughness of 5, and we'll roll that into the box, and that luckily just causes a stun. So she's pushed back 1 inch and given a stun. But things could still get worse as this marksman up here can now shoot all the way down here at her. Again, wide open, and this one is aimed. So he gets to re-roll that. A 6 is a hit against her toughness of 5. She just gets stunned again. So pushed back another inch, and then we'll switch this to 2. And lastly, their secret agent can move 6 inches, which will put him right up here. And he's got a hand laser, and from there, he wants to shoot Baffy but can't see him through Ugrok, so he will fire 9 inches at Ugrok. Ugrok does have cover, but the secret agent has +2 combat, but with a total of 4, that misses. To the slow phase, Danik will get to activate again, and he will fire his auto rifle, aiming this time wide open at that trooper. First shot with a +1, a total of 5 wide open, that hits. Against a toughness of 4, that stuns the trooper. He'll fire his second shot. That hits again, toughness of 4, and that's another stun. So this trooper gets pushed back 2 inches and has 2 stuns. And next we'll have Rhett move up just 2 inches or so. And he has a tracker sight hooked onto his auto rifle, which means if he fires at the same target as he did in the previous round, he gets a +1 to hit. And he can see that trooper back there with the 2 stuns. First shot with his auto rifle with a total of +2 at the tracker sight. That hits. We'll see if this gets past their toughness of 4. It doesn't, but that's 3 stuns on that trooper. So this trooper is taken out, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it says that they're knocked out if they take 3 stuns. So I don't know if they technically become a casualty as far as determining which of my characters gets the first kill. So I won't count it as the first casualty, but let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. And last for the round, Baffy is going to move 5 inches over here. And from right there, He can see up here to this trooper. The trooper has cover, so he needs a 6 with his military rifle, and he misses. So I think I barely won that round, taking out one enemy, but ending with 2 stuns on Beldara. Now I'll make a panic roll. And these Galactic Solution troopers are actually a bit skittish, fleeing on a 1 or a 2, and one of them runs. The enemy that flees is supposed to be the figure closest to the table edge, which would be their marksman up here. However, I really like the idea of him just staying up there sniping at guys, and so I'm just going to have this one run away, seeing that his ally that was equally equipped to him just went down. He's taken off. And I get all my reaction rolls this time, and it's still not too good on those. A 2 and a 3 I can use. And actually the way that reaction dice work, you can assign any die to any character. They just can't make use of it unless their reaction score is equal to or lower than it. So I'm actually going to give Danik one of the higher numbers because I want him to act in the slow phase. I will give the 2 to Ugrok. And he's going to fire a single shot from his colony rifle at that secret agent. Needing a 6. He's aiming because he didn't move. Second shot. That one misses. And then going to the enemy phase, we'll start with the marksman firing down here at Beldara. This is wide open and aimed. He's got a +1. But with just a 3 total, that misses. And Beldara got really lucky there because she already has 2 stuns. So if that had just simply stunned her, she would have been out. But she's still hanging in there. And now we'll go to their secret agent. He can't get into a brawl with anybody from where he's at, but he can come right here and shoot at his priority target, which is Baffy over here. And then a couple important things about their distance. They're about 8 inches apart. Baffy's stealth gear gives him a bonus if the enemy is more than 9 inches away. And the enemy's hand laser gives him a +1 to hit if he's within 6 inches. So no bonuses for either character there. Baffy has cover, so he needs a 6 with a +2. And that is a 5 total, so that misses. Baffy is going to fire back. He wants to use his blast pistol because it has +1 damage, but it's out of range. So he'll fire his military rifle. Needing a 6. He didn't move, so that is aimed. Firing again. He hits with the second shot against a toughness of 4. That gets past his toughness, but this enemy has luck. So he's going to move 1d6 inches in a random direction. 6 inches this way. So 6 inches this way is actually going to make him just come forward a little bit and crash into this wall. He just kind of dove out of the way from that, and he is now kind of in a precarious location. And because he's right out in the open, I think I'm going to have Beldara just fire her rattle gun and just try to take him out of the battle. First shot, needing a 5, being wide open. That misses. She was stunned, so I don't think she gets to aim. Second shot hits against a toughness of 4. It stuns him. Third shot. That's a hit against toughness of 4. And that takes him down. So Beldara was getting grazed by bullets left and right, but she didn't let that stop her. And as soon as this secret agent jumped out, she just unloaded her rifle at him, taking him down, and she can reduce her stuns down to 1. To finish off my turn here, Danik Kral is going to run and dash 6 inches out onto this catwalk, hoping that next turn he can act quickly enough to take a shot at that marksman that he can reach now. And then Rhett back here is going to move and dash 6 inches up as well. We'll make a panic roll for this last trooper since the unique individual was taken down. And he does not flee. He's going to stay there and try to take down some of my troops. I'll roll up a battle event for the end of round 4. 27. 27 is an ammo fault. Select a random figure of your crew. If they fired a weapon last round, it cannot be used for the rest of the battle. If they did not, select a random carried weapon which can be fired only once this battle. Using the same character numbers as before, a 5 would be Ugrok, so he cannot use his colony rifle. So as long as I simply hold the battlefield, I would get the documents off that fallen contact. But if I want to get this curious item over here, I need to get that done before I get sniped by that enemy marksman. Reactions for the next round. Alright, got some 1s and a 2 to use. So I'll give my 2 to Rhett, and one of my 1s to Danik, and my other one to Beldara in the back. And then I'm just going to have her move a few inches over here by this ladder just to get her out of the way and get rid of her stun. And then we'll have Rhett activate and just run right up here to where he's completely obscured from the view of the marksman. And Danik is going to run about 3 inches to the end of this, come over here and hop down. We'll put his base plate back on his feet and put him right there. And for the enemy phase, the marksman can see way down there to Ugrok, and he will fire his rifle at him. He needs a 6, but he's got a +1 combat. That's a miss, but that is aimed, so he gets to re-roll, and with a 3 total, that misses. And next I'll go ahead and activate Ugrok. He's just going to run and dash 7 inches way up here. He is out in the open, but he's hoping to activate early next round. And then Baffy is just going to move right up here, but he will be in cover. Reactions for the next round. 2 1s and a 2 again. In the middle of the board, I'll give my 2 to Ugrok and one of my 1s to Baffy. And then my other one will go to Beldara back here. And she's just going to climb up this ladder and then dash right up against this to stay out of sight. And back to the middle of the board, Ugrok is going to move and dash 7 inches into contact with this curious item. It simply says the figure has to come into contact with it and forgo any other actions they have. He has no other actions, so I guess he would then acquire it. So we'll find out after the battle what the curious item is. And then for Baffy, he's just going to dash 7 inches right up over here so that this blocks the view of the marksman. The marksman can't see any of my guys from where he is. Baffy is just barely hidden behind that crate. And even if he moves, he still can't see anybody, so he will just stand his ground. And we'll go to the slow phase. And Danik will start out by just moving over here into contact with the contact. And then he has to use a combat action to pick up the documents. And now all my crew needs to do is either take out that marksman or get Danik with the documents off of their starting side of the table. Then we'll go over to Rhett in the back, and he's simply gonna step a little bit outside from here where he can see up to here to the marksman, and that is just within his range. And he'll fire at him. He's got a +1, needing a 6, and he gets that. That's a hit against toughness of 4, and he takes down the marksman. So Rhett props his auto rifle up on the machinery in front of him, takes aim, and knocks that sniper off of his tower. And with that, I have secured my documents for safe passage off of Galdoss 5 and collected some curious item in the process. And I managed to survive this battle without any casualties. And I don't know if I'm just getting lucky or if my team is really powerful, but since I seem to be doing pretty well in these battles, I might consider changing up the difficulty, maybe increasing enemies in future battles. I'm not sure. We'll see. For the post-game activities, starting with resolving rival status, we'll roll a d6. On a 1, they become a rival, and they do not. We skip step 2 because this was not a patron mission. And before I go to the next step, I want to resolve this intrigue. I get to roll 2d6 and add +1 because I killed a unique individual. On a 9+, I gain a quest rumor. And that is a total of 8, so no extra quest rumors this time. And next I'll determine quest progress. I roll a d6 and add +3 total for the 3 quest rumors I have. And I get a total of 6. I really want to get to the end of my mission, so I'm going to use one of my 5 story points to reroll this and get a total of 7. Alright, so on a score of 7 or higher, I'm at the conclusion of my quest. The next quest mission I take will be the finale of this quest, and this will always be a straight up fight, and I'll have to add an additional enemy to the numbers. And then if the modified number was a 4 or higher, which it was, I roll another d6. And if I roll a 5 or a 6, I have to go to another world to complete the quest. And it's a 3. And with that, I don't have to leave this planet to finish the quest, but it also doesn't say I have to stay here on this planet. Next, I'll roll to get paid. 1d6, and a 1 is bumped up to a 3. Now to roll up battlefield finds. 18. And that's the same thing I rolled up last game. A usable good. Roll on the consumables table. And this is 52. That is a rage out, which increases speed by 2 and gives a +1 bonus to brawling rolls. It lasts for the current and next turn unless it's a Kieran, in which case it lasts for the rest of the battle. And during that battle, since Ugrok found that curious item, I get to roll a d6, and I'll either gain 1 credit or possibly a roll on the loot table. And a 2 means I get just 1 credit. These enemies were not a threat of invasion, so we go to gather loot. Once I complete the quest, so the next quest battle I do, I'll complete it. At that point, I'll get to roll 3 rolls on the loot table, but we'll roll 1 for now. And we get 59. Alright, I'm good with finding some gear. And this piece of gear is a 41. Nice, a protective item. And specifically that is 25. Wow, I just found another suit of combat armor. My team's going to be well protected. Well, since my crew did so well, I can completely skip the injury rolls and head over to experience points. All 5 of my characters gain +3 for surviving and winning. And as I mentioned in the battle, I'm not going to give Rhett the +1 for the first casualty because he technically didn't inflict a casualty. The figure just ran away. And like I said earlier, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong with that. So Beldara was actually the one to take down the first character, cause the first casualty, which was the unique individual. So she gains +1 for the first kill and +1 for the unique individual. And with all those experience points gained, I'm going to spend some of those. Captain Danik Kral is going to use 7 to increase his combat score to +2. Baffy finally has enough to gain a stat. He's going to spend all of his experience points to raise his speed up to 6. Beldara is going to raise her reactions up to +2 and still have a couple experience points left over. Ugrok is going to spend all of his to increase his toughness to 5. And Rhett does have enough to increase just about anything. He's got 7 experience points. I'm going to have him actually save up for a point of luck. Luck just seems like something that fits who he is, who he's kind of turning out to be. And then I did want to spend some points to upgrade Charlie's stats. I have to do that with credits, but I only have 4 credits, so unfortunately, even though this planet has some discounts on bot upgrades, I'm not going to be able to take advantage of that this turn. Once again, I'm not doing any purchases from the advanced training, and I'm going to sell Rhett's old scrap pistol and the handgun that he's carrying that used to be Danik's for 2 bonus credits, and I'll save my money and not make any purchases on any of the equipment tables. Next, I'll do a campaign event. 8. Well, this is bad because I really want to leave the planet on the next turn. That's my life support system needing to be upgraded. It's going to cost me 1d6 credits. I only have 2 credits, and I have to repair this before I can fly, so I'm going to go ahead and burn through another story point to reroll this. And the reroll gets me 20. Well, somebody on my team mouthed off to the wrong people, and I have to add a rival. Luckily, I'm planning to leave this planet, but sometimes rivals do follow you to the next place. And for my character event, bots can't participate, so we've got Danik, Baffy, Dr. O, Rhett, Beldara, and Ugrok, and that is Danik. And his event, 15. So Danik got a letter from home, which is interesting because he's a nomad and doesn't really have a home. So somebody sent him a letter. Might have to flesh out later who exactly this was. He gains +1 experience points, and normally you'd roll to see if they obtain a quest. We're already on a quest, so I think I'd ignore that. But yeah, someone is sending them messages. And I've got an idea of what will be in the message Danik received, but if you're watching this video shortly after it released, let me know in the comments what you think the message says, as I won't be filming my next battle for a few weeks, and if I like your idea more than what I have planned, I might use your suggestion. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss the next battle when it releases, and leave me a comment below. I'm Alan with Bricks and Blocks Gaming. Until next time, play well.